I'm so dry, boys. Let's crack them. Yeah.
You got a squirt. Oh,
you got a squirter.
Yep, I got a squirter.
Oh, double squirts.
No.
That's good. It's good luck.
This is pretty good.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Hey, folks, this is the 4099 podcast with your hosts, Dima and...
Hi, I'm Nick.
And tonight we have... Don't make fun of me for saying this, all right? A very, very amazing, talented,
Thank you.
interesting guest. He always makes fun of me because I say a special guest.
Like 14 times.
14 times. And
Such a special guest. I just can't even put into words how special this guest is today or tonight. And it's so special to me to have the special person on my special show with my special friends.
Yep, that's this is what I was talking
it's so special.
All right, let me give the intro, damn it.
Hit it.
In order to define the special, right?
God.
So she is an artist. We kind of met through painting, I guess. No, not painting, drawing.
Drawing, yeah.
Yeah, drawing. She is currently in the process of starting her own nonprofit.
Yeah, it's like in the baby steps.
In the baby steps. And she was the former, was it manager?
General manager, yeah.
General manager of WUAG, the local Greensboro, UNCG, University of North Carolina at Greensboro radio station.
Yeah.
And tonight we have Lili. Or how would you like to be addressed?
Liliana. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Either or.
Cool.
Doesn't matter to me.
Sick. Yeah, she's here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me and for the introduction. Very sweet.
Absolutely.
Very special.
You heard that, Nick? Very sweet and special.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Don't support that.
But yeah, no, I mean, super cool to have you here. We're just kind of kicking it, chilling, talking about all the stuff that's going on in life. And we were talking about school. Actually, we were driving by school.
Yeah.
And since we met in school, I kind of wanted to ask you, because we were talking about you taking the semester off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to talk to you about why you decided to take the semester off.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of people are going through very similar situations, and a lot of people don't even are like still in school, but like feel awkward about being there. It's like, why am I here? Kind of like, what made you kind of choose to skip out on the semester and stuff like that?
So there's a lot of reasons why. But most importantly, school's expensive, and the UNC system, they are basically making students pay the same amount of tuition that they would normally, charge. Yeah, that's the word. And you don't get to use any of the facilities. You don't get to use the gym, the buses, any of it. And so I thought that was really messed up. But then also, I don't do well in an online format.
Tell me about it.
I've never done well. Like, I always make at least one letter grade lower than I could have made if it were in person. And so between that and the spring semester when the whole shutdown happened because of the pandemic, I was just having a lot of mental health issues, and I just decided I can't go into this my senior year of school. I'm gonna have to take a break just if this is gonna be online. So that's what I decided.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Nick is going to school and you're finishing up this semester.
Yeah, so kind of in the same boat, but none of us really had a choice with the spring semester going into that. You didn't know what was going to happen, so it just got flung on you. So did that one, and then I elected to do summer courses to catch up for the semester that I took off. And once I caught up, I'm already here, and I'm pretty used, but me personally, I'm used to this online format, and a couple of my classes are doing that hybrid thing, and not a fan of that. But I mean,
it's weird.
Honestly, I'm really, really fortunate. I don't face the same financial burdens as a traditional student because of military benefits.
That's nice.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just burn this year out of the hole and just call it and get my paperwork and maybe go make some money next year. You know, I'm trying to buy that new Ford Bronco, bro.
Yeah.
Like that bad boy it's screaming my name. It's like, yo, Nick, come drive me, man. Let's go for a ride. Let's hit it. I'm super good on gas. And I'm like, yes. And so I'm just waiting to yell at a, you know, salesperson, be like, I want it and I want it now. Can you wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
You guys deliver? I don't even want to leave the house.
I'm sure they will.
Probably do that right now. They have those tower things where you can get
the Carvana.
Yeah, the Carvana.
Yeah.
You can get it out of that maybe.
My brother actually got his car from Carvana.
Did he get both
I
his
was
cars
there,
from there?
For the whole thing. No, he got the first car without
Okay.
Carvana.
What was that like?
You essentially, when you buy the car, they give you, and Carvana, for anyone that doesn't know, is I don't know if it's just a local thing or is it a national thing?
It's a national
I feel
thing.
like
Okay, so just for the folks that, just to have context here, right? Because we do have very beautiful listeners and viewers, so hello to you guys. Thanks for stopping by again. But
While we're on that page, I just want to give an ode to everyone and say thank you. I know that the last couple episodes have really required some active listening. We've been doing it up, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys and gals and everyone. So yeah, Carvana is essentially it's just a used car dealership. But the cool thing is they have these huge towers with cars in the towers, the glass towers. And when you buy the car, when he bought the car, my brother, they gave him a token, like a big, huge token, and he put it into like a token slot. And that's when shit started.
It's like a gumball machine.
Yeah, it's a gumball machine.
Wow.
Like the car went out of the slot on the tower, and they went down. And as it was going down, it was spinning on this machine. It was insane. I'll have to show you the video after this.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the reason they do that is it kind of cuts out their budget for like salespeople.
Yeah.
So everything's online. Or like, you know, on your phone, which is online, and then you just go and pick up your vehicle, or they can deliver it.
Yep.
They don't have any lots that they have to pay for. They just pay for the building.
So yeah, Carvana.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. But so Lily, so we talked. So I've mentioned that you are an artist, and I kind of want to talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to give the listeners and viewers some context, so they can get a better feeling of who you are and kind of how you grew up and how you came to like art and like came to like and love the stuff that you're doing now.
Yeah, girl, what you all about?
So I don't know, I have a really artistic family, so I've been really lucky in that sense. My grandmother is a calligrapher.
What is that?
So she makes really pretty letters. No, that's a really good question. She makes really like the different fonts that you see on the computer. Traditionally, like a calligrapher would do that by hand, but now we have computers to do it. So she does like wedding invitations, or she used to, like that's her thing. And she does bookbinding, and she's like a mixed media artist. And my sister is really into the fiber art, so she does knitting and sewing and that kind of thing.
That's awesome. My grandma was like huge into that.
What kind of like fabric work does she do? And is it like she does it for like free time, or like you know, like as a hobby, or is it something she does?
It's like a hobby.
Like if I rip my pants, could I be like, yo, here's like $20, patch me up, please?
Yeah, no, she definitely does a lot of like patching up for like her husband, and like actually makes pants for him and like clothes. Like she does her own, all of that on her own. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I gotta get me a girl like that. Makes pants.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to buy pants for a big boy?
And they're custom made too, like right to fit you, right?
Like these are made from my tuchus.
For your booty only.
Yeah. I wish my babushka made pants.
Right?
Your grandma?
Yeah. She doesn't.
Nah, she doesn't. But she's cool.
She yells at me about my pants.
Yeah.
Oh no, why?
Because I wear motos.
Oh, does she not like them?
She's like, you look silly. You'll never get the good job.
Yeah, she does.
She doesn't have a Russian accent, though.
No.
I made that up.
She's a really American, actually.
I don't call her babushka either. She's from the southeast.
Nice.
Yeah. But anywho, going back to you.
This isn't about me.
This is about you. So your family coming like are very creative. You said your sister kind of does the fiber arts, right? Grandma calligraphy. Does your parents do any kind of like are interested in any kind of arts? I'm sure they're supportive, right?
They're really supportive, which is amazing, especially like, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. My mom is a seamstress, so she does the sewing, which is probably where my sister got that kind of fiber mindset. But no, they're both just engineers, so they're really, math side of the brain.
Yeah.
No, I can't relate.
I'm coming from the same. Well, actually, no, I lied because my dad went from being like a really good boxer in his youth to art and painting. He was doing oil painting for a while, but then he was like, "Oh, I can't really make a lot of money off of this, and I need money to feed myself, and we're in a bad situation right now. So why don't I just become an engineer like your parents?" And so he became an engineer, but he has more of that understanding for art, right? And then my mom was always from like a little kid. She was always really interested in music, so that's why she became as I was telling you before, a concert pianist. So I'm the same way. Like my parents are like super supportive of the arts for sure.
That's awesome.
But it helps out, right?
It really does because they're super supportive and it's just great. Like I couldn't imagine them not being supportive, Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's like the ideal, right? Like not even having that thought of them not being supportive is amazing, right? And it gives you, I feel like that's something that gives us as people that have really supportive and understanding parents, a drive and a comfort to do art and feel comfortable doing art. Because a lot of kids don't have that, A lot of people want to do something art related, right? But their parents like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, you're not gonna this is not practical.
You're gonna be poor.
Yeah, exactly. So doing all of that stuff and having a very supportive base, right? Were you doing art in like middle school, high school? Like how did you end up at UNCG specifically focusing in art?
So I actually was very much into singing in middle school. So I did a lot more music classes than art classes. But it was always something that like my grandma supported me with. So it was something I could do on the side that I knew I was like, decent at. But I wanted to focus on singing because I always wanted to be like a rock star, right? But I didn't end up doing that because, you get a bad teacher in high school and that just kind of derails the whole dream. But I ended up picking up art towards the end of my high school career, and I was going to go to college and major in history, actually.
Wow.
I wanted to get into politics. I'm super into, just the political sphere.
Right.
But I decided to go into the arts because I just really wanted to be like have that professor life. That was the dream. The goal is to be an art professor. But lately I'm not so sure anymore. Just because of like, everything going on in the world and then like me withdrawing from college.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to help me.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It has been crazy and it has like definitely tested our dreams and aspirations, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like being artists, right? Nick, not so much because you're more of a business dude.
Well, that's not true. This whole year has put a damper on all of my business plans.
Well, I mean, okay, that is true. But what I'm saying is business is something, it's something that people will always need, right? It's something that people always, that's drilled in their mind to always need, like companies, money, right? Like all of that stuff is necessary.
You're saying like economics will stand.
Yeah.
Economics will stand, yes.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, even if it's just a barter system, economics still stands.
Yeah.
Exactly. But art, I mean, unfortunately, not a lot of people see it as necessary or something that even like we see that in like budgeting, right, for schools or for governments. Even like art isn't really something that people spend or give a lot of money to. So
it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because, like, and you look back at history and stuff, and I mean, most of the history that you're looking at, they're like paintings and stuff, and it's sad to think that the world says that it doesn't need art, but like in reality, it always needs art, you know, and that's what makes things interesting, and that's what sells.
I would say
Art
on a
sells.
couple, on a couple different levels we need it, because one, it acts as like some sort of like mental stabilizer. It helps people in facilitating. What's the word I want to use? Like it.
Creativity.
Yeah, in an overdeveloped generality, yes.
Okay.
It's a creative outlet for a multitude of things.
Well, I mean, it helps people get outside the box, right? Like if you do art, there's something about art that can't be put in a box. No matter even if we're talking about, this is something I'm super passionate about, as you can tell.
Talking 90 miles an hour.
Right? Yeah. It's something that no matter how much, right? Like, and I'm sure you know a lot about this. Like art history tries to put, or just any kind of history, right? In order to give a timeline, you need to put something in a numerical or a system, right? An order, right? A box, right? And the more I feel like people try to do that, the more it becomes something that I see as, you know, the more this dude's telling me that this is minimalism, right? Or this is abstract, or this is like, the more I hear about that and them trying to put it in a box, the more I understand it can't be done. It can't be put in a box. It's something that is, it's like a intangible form that you can't really shape. It always changes, right? And so, I mean, because of that, why I'm saying all of this stuff is because of that, it gives people a chance to, when they do it, when they create, right? It gives them, like Nick was saying, a sense of creativity, but it also gives them something way more practical than that. It gives them a yearning and an ability to think outside of what they're doing, whether it be business or anything else, nurses or whatever, healthcare, whatever. You know, when you do art, you're like, oh shit, wow, I just created something and there was no one standing over my neck or telling me how to do this thing. I did it. I made this thing the way I wanted to, right? And because of that freedom, it allows people to understand, wow, maybe I can take something that I've learned from this and put it and implement it into my own profession or my own life, right?
Well, I have a question for you, since you and I have both, if that's okay.
Oh, she's interviewing me now. Yeah, go ahead.
So since we've both been in art school and everything, what is your view on that, with someone actually standing, you know, right behind you, telling you
that's a good point.
What's what and like how to do everything? What are your thoughts? Do you think that art school kills creativity, or do you think that it can help foster it?
Oh man, that's a good question, actually. I thought about this a lot, just because, I mean, I just graduated, right? So I've done my time. I've served my time. But no, I think that by choosing to go to school, whether it be for art or anything else, you are inadvertently putting yourself in a situation that is very controlled. Now, it's your decision to interpret what that means for you. Like it for me, of course, at first when I went to art school, I looked at that shit as like garbage. I was like, fuck the teacher. Like, I want to do my own art. I want to do this. I want to do that. But like, my mom said something that's stuck with me like all the way up until this point. She said it when I was a younger kid. She was like, if you really want to make something, really want to make art, you have to understand that you can't make something abstract without knowing the foundation of it and knowing the how to do it in the proper way. After you learn that, then you can abstract it. Then you can go outside of the box. Then you can do what you got to do. But before, you have to learn the fundamentals. You have to go and approach it from more of a practical.
Okay, so she said before you're a Jedi, you have to go to Jedi school.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's like at first.
How did she say that to you in Russian? I want to know.
We're gonna save that for later, but but yeah, no, I mean, like, essentially, I went from as a freshman, fuck this, to okay, I'm gonna play by the rules. I'm gonna learn the groundwork, and then when I finish learning that stuff, then I can go out and do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
So I understand where a lot of people are coming from by looking at teachers as kind of like people that kind of kill that creativity inside of you, but we have to realize as artists that we have to learn the system in order to then change it to our own desires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to work with the system in order to change it's kind of like anything, right? Like politics or anything. Like
there's a big thing with politics is like you can't defeat the system from the outside.
Right,
You have to
exactly.
be inside of it.
Inside of it,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And so it's like that's what I think. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that
Well, how
was
do you
great.
feel about it?
I feel
Are you trying to defeat the system?
I guess so. I mean, I'm not really sure. I feel the same way as you, that you definitely need to know what you're doing before you break the rules. But I feel like to a certain extent there are definitely some teachers out there that are trying to push their style on you,
For sure.
or they're trying to, just micromanage, control, like whatever it is. And I don't know. I mean, it definitely, there were times where I've come out of a critique, especially like, in the higher levels, once you get up there, where you're just like, fuck, like this is hard. I don't know if I want to continue on this path, because you're just in this class with a bunch of your peers and you just get completely roasted.
Yeah. No, critique is wild. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's harsh.
It's harsh.
Very harsh.
For sure. Like, being in a situation where, and this is for people that don't know, and I don't mean to steal the mic from anyone. Jump in, guys, if you want. But,
okay. Well, since you said that, no, I'm just kidding.
But it's like, so in art school, it's a little bit different than any other kind of school because at least from what I know, because it's a place where we're constantly critiquing each other. We're constantly speaking in front of the class and telling oh, Nick, go ahead and crack that. My bad, dude.
Huzzah!
He was waiting for me to give him the opportunity to do that. Yeah, but so it's an environment where your peers are constantly looking at what you're doing. What are you feeling right now?
Magic in my belly.
Oh, good.
Good. That was a little interlude, but yeah. So and because our art is constantly being critiqued and interpreted by other people, sometimes that rubs us the wrong way, and sometimes it really it's a creative killer,
Yeah.
But I feel like we need that. We need that. We can't. I feel like a lot of the time, a big issue that I had going to art school, and I don't mean to step on anyone's toes when I say this, but people were a little too, and this might sound problematic, but hear me out, soft, and it's like, it's like, yes, for sure, definitely, let's be people and let's not just shit on each other's art.
Yeah.
But let's grow a tougher hide here. Let's grow a tougher skin here and at least try to see and understand where people are coming from when they're critiquing our art. Because if you do truly want to be an artist and you get out of school, your art is going to be shit on 8 times as much, So you better fucking take this shit and move with it and grab what you need out of it and move on. Or you just won't be successful. You won't make it very far because it's a cutthroat world out here, people.
Eat dog.
Yeah, really.
It really is. I mean, like, you have to, like how people say, separate the art from the artist. Like, you are having to do that constantly with yourself. And you can't take anything personally at all, even though, like, you just spent, like, 16 hours on this painting or sculpture or whatever it is. Like, that's your baby. Like, no, it's not your baby. That is a lesson, and you are going to get, taught.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, the school's for teaching, right?
Yeah.
So
I've learned that I'm not going to art school.
Yeah, maybe not. Or maybe.
So 2 points that I wanted to make, though, just to like drill out my final thoughts on what art does like fill the capacity for
sure.
and why we do need it. One point that you kind of touched on is it does sell. It is a huge, like, not just like the art market for like buying and selling, but also like museums. And then going into that, art's also a huge staple in history telling, storytelling, by and large. And that's one thing that, like, as a global society, we can't give up that, because we forget who we are. We'll never know where we're going.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
That's all I got, man.
That was beautiful.
That was actually like, those 2 points right there are something that we as artists are constantly talking about all the time. Can you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I think we were actually in this class together. It was like a very modern art class where we had very like open discussions all the time. And that in that class we were constantly talking about like, what is art? What can art be? How is art changing? We were talking about memes and how that's art now.
Oh, buddy, I got a way of describing that. Like, so look, what is art? It's the same as what is porn.
Yeah.
I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah, exactly. No.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, it is true. That's an amazing way to put it, yeah.
And art can be porn.
Yeah.
Some porn is art.
Yeah.
Some art is porn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But not all porn stars are artists. I'll tell you that real quick.
Yeah, this is why we keep Nick around. Is just for, you can pretty much
levity.
You can pretty much, anything he says, you can pretty much tweet. It's a running joke.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
The shit that comes out of his mouth, if you put it in a tweet, your tweet will go viral.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know if anyone that's currently listening to us remembers like the first like 2 to 5 episodes, but we had Kyle on a few times. And so Kyle has this running Twitter that is actually just quotes from me. I don't even follow it. I'm ashamed.
Oh my. Oh.
But
it's very
that shit is verbal gold.
Rated R for sure. Yeah, yeah.
I bet it's hilarious.
It is verbal gold. Though. Yeah, you need to check it out at some point.
If you want, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no, definitely
it's rough. Have fun.
But yeah, no, I mean, kind of. Well, actually, I did want to ask you, concentrating a little bit more on the art thing, and then we'll move to the radio thing. But, how has your experience been with art within an institution? Has it been positive for the most part, or very problematic, something that you've had many issues with and you don't think that it's something that people should do?
I think overall it's been very, very positive.
Yeah.
But I think that it's not for everyone, especially like I don't know if I would do it looking back now just because of how financially taxing it is. But I think it's great because you get to meet all these really amazing people from different backgrounds, these incredible teachers that are so talented, that are, spending their time teaching you, and they also have like their own stuff going on and setting up shows in like New York and China and stuff, which is incredible. But I mean, overall, it's been a great experience. I think that UNCG is an awesome school. I wish that college in general, higher education, was more affordable for people. Because unfortunately in America, it's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too.
So I got a question.
Yeah, good.
Used to's being a couple of art heads. All right. Hear me out here. I need to know like the similarities, the contrast, the, this versus this and what's in between. Like going to like a 4-year like college and getting like,
I know where you're going with this.
Like a bachelor situation versus like me going out and taking a bunch of lessons from like, I'm not even sure what they're called, but just like classes outright, like where you go to like a seminar kind of situation and you learn about pottery and this and that. What am I missing if I decide I don't want to go to college, but I've got $40, I can go and learn how to, drink wine and paint this picture kind of thing?
Yeah, you want to take that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the difference is you don't have that whole school spirit thing. You're definitely still getting the knowledge and you're learning exactly what you need to. It's just, you're not going to get a degree out of it, right? You're not going to have any sort of credentials, but you'll have that experience, which I think that, sometimes credentials are a little stupid. Because I feel like there are so many people that don't go to college or don't even finish high school, and they're pretty amazing and genius people. So, I mean, it's honestly the amount of work that you want to put into it, So
we're saying basically any artistry, practically speaks for itself, could be its own credential. if your product is of the caliber where it speaks for itself, you don't necessarily need an accredited like college degree.
You can be an artist and get a position in a museum if you are super good and know all the right people. You're still going to have to, network some type of way. And I think college is amazing for networking, but you're not going to get that necessarily in a lesson type place.
No workshops.
Yeah, workshops, yeah.
I don't think accredited is a word. I think it's accredited.
Accredited, yeah.
I apologize.
Nah, you're good, man.
My white trash hillbilly blood was coming out. My bad.
No, you're fine, man. It's like
accredited.
We don't pick at words here, man. My long form answer to that would be historically. Yeah, long form, because I have to like.
I regret my question.
Yeah, exactly. I have to. All right, let me shorten it up a little bit. Historically, if we look at art down to like the early forms of art, and this is specifically talking about. We could even look at Renaissance art, right? Mm-hmm. There were schools, but they were taught by very successful and wealthy artists, right? So it was still a system that you had to go to someone and they were teaching you. So it was a seminar-based system, right? But you were still in a position where you were being taught that thing by a accredited person.
But ultimately being taught by an expert in the field.
Right, exactly.
It's like an apprenticeship at that point. Yeah.
Right. And moving forward now, it's less of that. I mean, you do have art schools where it's literally like specifically an art school. It's like nothing else but art, right? You still have that. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, people just do their BFAs, which is Bachelor of Fine Arts, and that's a 4-year degree. You get a piece of paper afterwards and a fucking kick in the ass. You know what I mean? Bye, goodbye.
Hard kick in the ass.
Yeah, goodbye. We'll see you never. You know what I mean? So unless you want to do grad school.
All right, the money quit coming in. You gotta get out.
Right, yeah. Right. But the actual process of getting it is super cool. Like Lily said, like you do meet a huge.
All right, so we're saying that the primary like golden aspect, aside from the degree,
right,
is the networking opportunity that is given to you.
You essentially pay money to
sell yourself.
Exactly. To learn how to sell yourself and to learn how to, not really learn, but you can say learn how to exist within a environment where you essentially have artists all around you, which is something that I've learned. Like after I graduated, I took something that I took for granted, like heavy, was the fact that I was constantly surrounded by artists. Mm-hmm. When you leave art school or even when you graduate, that's very hard to come by. Yeah. Like especially artists.
Yeah.
Because, at least that's something that I learned graduating is like, dude, I've had so many cool people that are very similar minded people that I honestly like have influenced me and have pushed me to do better art. But then when you leave art school, it's like, damn, this world doesn't really give a shit about art. And it's very hard to find friends that are pushing you constantly and that are in an environment to help in a helpful way push you. A lot of the time you meet people, even if they're artists, they want to use you or they want to maliciously, there's so many, what I'm saying is when you leave school, you got to watch out, you know what I mean? And you gotta know how the fucking game works. And it's all about what you were saying. It's all about networking. That's all it is.
Push your friends, folks. Push them.
Push them in a helpful way.
Yeah.
Positively push the shit out of them.
Mm.
Be very helpful.
But anyway, moving on. I feel like something.
Let's get into this radio biz.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know about.
Something that we really wanted to talk to you about was your experience in radio, how that started, and let's go from there.
It's like the most random thing.
Right? Isn't it? So when I was a freshman, it was my second semester, so a spring semester of freshman year, and I saw an Instagram post for the radio station. I actually a friend of mine from art school, he was like, hey, you need to check out, we have a radio station on campus, you should follow their Instagram, I have a radio show on it. So I was like, oh yeah, like totally. So I like followed them, and I saw that they had job opportunities, and broke art student definitely wants some money, and I love music, so
I'm trying to buy some burritos.
right. And so I go to the job interview, do all my paperwork, and I apply to be the social media director. And I got the job.
Nice.
And it was awesome. And I was working on a board it was actually, when I applied, it was all guys and me.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like boys club.
Right.
It was a very interesting environment because I had never had to deal with that before. And eventually, like over the few semesters, people kind of like graduated and like left and everything. But it basically got to the point where they needed a new general manager. And this one guy on our board was actually far more qualified than me, but he was also a musician, and he was like, oh, I want to, focus on my music right now. I don't want, even though he would have gotten a pay raise, he was like, I don't want to focus on this. It's too much. So I was like, okay, I'll step up and do this. And so I did. And it was a really good experience, but it didn't last very long. The thing is being the general manager of this basically club sort of thing, I was the person that spoke to the administrators. I was the one that would basically juggle what the students wanted and what the administrative people wanted.
You're a babysitter.
Yes, babysitter for both. And then if something went wrong, I was the one getting bitched at. So I did a lot of really cool things while I was there with like a great staff that helped me along. So one of the big things that we were doing during my time as general manager was our license, our FCC license was about to be...
and can you explain that for the folks that don't know?
So FCC, I don't exactly know what the letters mean, but basically they are the people, the government branch that controls all of the telecommunicative things. So anything on the radio and possibly TV. I'm not like satellite. So anyways, that license, it was about to be expired. And so I had to go in and look at all the paperwork, call the old general managers. I had to, talk to just people that I didn't know, going through paperwork, and eventually it was figured out. But it was a hassle to do that because we had to do it before a certain date, or the whole university station would have been non-existent.
That's crazy.
So it was a lot of stress. And basically it was over the summer that I had to do this. And we would have to go in on certain days during certain times. We'd have to like read a message that the FCC wanted us to read. So I was going in doing that, and it was very robotic, and
bureaucracy.
Yes, that was something that I was like, oh my goodness, this is intense. So, and honestly, managing people isn't my forte. I much rather, kick back with people and be equals than be in charge, because at that point, and just being like a woman, like I felt like I was being a bitch, and like I could see that my staff felt the same way. Like I felt like I was like, listen guys, like I don't mean to come off like this,
man,
but
we're being such a jerk up in here.
Yeah, but I was like, we gotta get our shit together, and you guys are not, doing it. So I ended up actually leaving that job because there was a miscommunication issue and a scheduling issue.
Right?
Did you
Miscommunication
almost catch a charge?
I did not do anything wrong.
Okay.
I believe I was turning 19 or 20 at the time. And I told them, I said, this is my birthday. I'm going to have all the paperwork done before then, like anything I had to do. Do not contact me, because I could do that. I had like my own schedule. I basically made it up. And I was like, don't email me, don't contact me on this day, because I'm going to be on a river floating down tubing. So that's what people do in North Carolina. We tube down the river. So I was like, that is what I'm doing. And, well, that day they decided that they needed to contact me or else I wasn't going to get a paycheck, and my whole staff wasn't going to get a paycheck unless I had them fill out specific things. So I was like, listen, I'm going to try to fill this out for you guys. This is just the people up in the administrative office. Just like, the adults. So, I know, it was ridiculous. So I sent all of my staff members, I said, here, you guys need to fill this out. You guys just need to do it. I'm so sorry for the late notice, yada, yada, yada. And then I filled it out. And they were like, Lily, you filled this out wrong. Please do it again. So I filled it out again. Lily, you didn't fill it out correctly. So I filled it out one more time. And they were like, you didn't do this correctly. And, like, I really went through this thing. Like, I wouldn't just turn something in if it wasn't filled out correctly. Yeah. So I was like, listen, either take it or I'm sorry, but I quit. Like, I can't deal with this today. It just became so emotional to me at that point that I was just like, I'm sorry, I'm walking away from this. And I appointed the next general manager, who was this very lovely woman, Stephanie. And yeah, that was the end of that. I just kind of, and I feel like that might have been a little childish of a response that I couldn't handle it, but I was like, I don't need this. I'm getting paid, like, close to minimum wage, like a little bit more than minimum wage. I don't have to deal with this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's almost like a violation of principle at that point. Yeah. I've walked away from jobs for less. That being said, I've never been fired.
That's good. Me either. So it's good.
Can't say the same. I can't say the same. But yeah, it's kind of like shitty what they kind of did to you specifically. Almost seems like they didn't respect your position in all of this and how hard you were working for it, for them. But I do want to ask, along with what you just told us, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested, like did you learn anything about like the radio industry as a whole?
Yeah. So, well, my job wasn't so much, putting things on the radio, although I did like do that occasionally and train DJs and stuff like that, so they would know how to do it. Mine was more of the grunt, like scheduling.
Gotcha.
Let's get these people, let's have a meeting so we can talk to all our DJs and like have conversations. And it was more of the behind the scenes of the radio station thing. Gotcha. But I mean, I learned how to make PSAs. I helped out with the installation. I didn't do the installation, but I communicated with the engineers to come in and install a new system. So actually, if you ever get that chance to go see the station at UNCG, everything is updated. It hadn't been updated since 1999, the year I was born.
That's crazy.
So it's updated now, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Where is that? Where is this?
So it is in oh man, I forget the building now. It's right on Tate Street. All right. And it's near the theater.
It's the McIver? No, not McIver.
I think it's like Taylor, or it might start with an M. I'm not sure.
It's the big fancy looking
Graham.
building.
I think it's Graham. Maybe no, it's definitely not Graham.
I think it's the big fancy building right in front of the FedEx and Subway shop.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
for the subs
in that vicinity. Yeah.
It's an old theater hall.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the building next to the old theater. It's
So in between the theater hall and what used to be the yogurt shop.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. It's in that building.
All right.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of people don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, sorry, listeners.
We're talking about just the location of the building as a whole.
Local stuff.
Greensboro is a weird city.
It is. Things are just kind of everywhere at one time.
Like, Greensboro can't decide if it wants to be like a metropolitan, like, big boom city, or if it wants to be like this old southern, like, cultural stronghold.
Yeah. It's true.
It's weird. It's a weird place. But we love it,
It's mixed
Greensboro's
up.
Cool.
It's confused. It's in a transition
So are we all, man.
It's true.
Okay, so radio, stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any maybe recommendations or things that you would like to change based on your experience that you'd say
within the industry
that
I honestly don't know at this point, just because there are so many new people coming in and out. And a little after I quit, the person that was giving me a hard time actually got a job elsewhere. I think she ended up getting a job at Chapel Hill or like Duke or something. I don't know.
Right.
And she ended up working there, which I think is good because she was really not that great with talking. There was at one point when I was in her office and, you know, I'm not used to the whole office space. I'm like college student in art school.
Right.
And so she's on the phone with somebody trying to do this FCC thing, and she's asking me questions while she's on the phone. And, like, I'm kind of confused because I'm, like, writing down everything she's saying because she's, you know, the one talking. And she's getting really upset with me and, like, is yelling at me.
Wow.
Which I'm just like... You know, I have a bit of an attitude at that point because I'm like, listen, if you're not going to respect me, I can't.
You're frustrated.
Yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm getting yelled at. I'm getting, like, not paid very well. Right, like, I'm probably hungry, you know? So it was a lot. And so I'm glad that she's not working there anymore because I know for a fact that if she's not there, then the rest of the board and the new general manager has a bit of an easier time.
Right. So just... based on your experience, you'd probably say, and this is what I'm getting from what you're saying, just focus on interpersonal relationships a little bit more.
Yeah.
Less about the business, more about, okay, let's focus on the business, but let me treat you like a person.
Yeah.
Let's build a relationship.
Oh, it's that golden rule,
right,
you know?
Right.
You treat me like you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can go to the parking lot real quick.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I'm not going to whoop your ass in the office.
Yeah.
I don't want to destroy anything in here. It doesn't matter to me.
Parking lot.
But
I got the flagpole.
I drag you by the collar out real quick.
Yeah, that would be really funny who would go down in that fight. I don't know if it would be me.
Okay, so moving on from radio. And okay.
Before we leave it, would you ever go back to radio? Not necessarily that WAG stuff, but would you ever go back?
Definitely. I think that it was a great opportunity. I mean, I love meeting people, and that was definitely great for meeting people, learning new things. It was a great experience.
So as far as like an industry and an interesting like field, you'd play ball?
Yes, I would definitely play that. And especially like you guys having a podcast and like, you know, a YouTube channel, it's actually would be really interesting if you guys did end up getting a job at a radio station because you're so used to already talking. Yeah. And that's like a big thing for those DJs and radio hosts.
I'm not going to say that I'm the best public speaker, but I do love public speaking.
Well, you can't cuss. That is one huge thing.
Fucking son of a bitch, goddamn motherfucker.
You would have to like switch up the curses. Like you would be like, son of a biscuit.
Nah, dude. I would just have you there with a keyboard every time you just like, you know, you would feel the vibe in the conversation. Like, here it comes. And you would just like hit something that would. I don't want to beep. I want like a train horn or something.
Yeah.
You know,
you want a ship horn.
Maybe like an old Claxton. The old.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. All right.
Yeah. So moving on.
I'm glad it didn't put a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah. No. Excellent experience. I definitely recommend.
Don't let no sour puss put a taste in your mouth.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. So moving on. To kind of move towards the end of the podcast a little bit, we definitely wanted to ask you about what you got going on with your nonprofit. I know we talked about it a little bit on Instagram, and I've seen some of the story and stuff like that, some of the things that you guys are doing. And before you say anything, amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. You're doing a justice to a place where you live. And I feel like, both of us not from this country, right? Like the way I grew up was like, if I step outside of my house, it's still my house. Mm-hmm. This is still where I live. I share this land with my friends, with my family, with my people. Yeah. So I'm not going to just pick up a piece of trash and throw it on the ground. That's disrespectful. Would I do that in my house? No, I get the fuck smacked out of me by my mom. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would you do that, right? So
you're saying like the mentality is my home is the village?
Yeah, exactly. My home is the village, right? And unfortunately, it's not the way here, mm-hmm. and because of that, I think that's why I'm saying you're doing such a great job with what you got going on with the nonprofit.
What does she got going on? I want to know.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to know. You beat around the bush.
I'm building it up.
Suspense.
All right. Suspense.
I can't stand it.
He always gets on me for that. But so yeah, having said all of that stuff, what are you doing just to give people give people context and a in on what you're doing, and what are your plans for the future?
Grease the squeaky wheel already.
All right. So I want to make it clear that we are not yet a nonprofit.
Okay, yeah, right.
And we are just, I wouldn't say just a concept, because we're actually like, we are doing things. It's not just an idea anymore. But we are a community of North Carolinians that get together at least once a week, and we pick up trash around the areas, around cities, streams, parks, wherever you see litter.
And this is, just to be clear, this is all around the state. It's not just at one central location.
So you go on a weekly field trip.
Yes, and it's so much fun. I love it because, since quarantine and everything, we've been really, really safe and everything. People are getting tested and we're always wearing masks and gloves when we go out. We have so much hand sanitizer, but we are going out and we are picking up the garbage around. And the future, so what we're called NC Litter Pickup Community. It's a really long name, and it's exactly what it is.
Right.
And we started with a Facebook group, and we have an Instagram too, to just reach a wider audience. But basically, my hope for the future with this thing is that we build chapters in different cities. So maybe in the future we can have a Greensboro litter pickup community, which is one of the many chapters in North Carolina. And basically those people would get together once a week, pick up trash, take photographs of what they did, and then on their Instagram they post it and compare it to what the Durham pickup community did, and see which city, which group chapter did a better job. And it would be like a friendly competition to basically, get people to be more proud of where they live. Because North Carolina is a very beautiful state. We have the mountains and the beach and everything in between.
Talk your shit.
It's
hell yeah.
Yeah. I just want to see it, be a clean state,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we'll
shout out New Jersey. Get some. You dirty bitch motherfuckers.
Oh, man. Hey, New Jersey is a nice place.
I'm going to get shot the next time I roll up.
There's some nice people in New Jersey.
Oh, no, you're right. No, there's some great people and some even better foods.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
But for real, though, clean them beaches up.
Yeah, clean the beaches up for real, though. No, but that's awesome. I think that that can be a really exciting thing for everyone to look forward to, and we'll definitely have all of the what is it, dude, I'm not culturally aware. What are the little things below the people's names?
Titles?
At whatever.
Not
hashtags.
A tag, like a
handle. Yes, handle.
Yeah, you got it.
I had no idea what you were on about.
Handles. Sorry, handles. Brain fart. We'll have all the handles, all the information in the description. So, folks, if you are interested, please, can they reach you?
Yeah, they can reach. So everything is under NC Litter Pickup Community on Instagram and Facebook. All they have to do is follow or to request to be added into the group, and they will be added in. And there are, I will be posting the meetings of where we're going to go. And you don't have to show up to every single one. Just show up to the ones in your area. That's all we need.
Absolutely.
So with that, though, like, have you guys found cool shit, too?
Well, not so much yet.
No?
Just a bunch of, really interesting degrading plastics and trash and some really cool glass bottles, but nothing that I've been like, you know what? I'm going to keep this. I haven't found any of that yet.
So no, like, gold watches, no wallets?
No Rolexes, no.
Unfortunately, no.
All right, I got to ask this because I've had a history with this myself. Any dead bodies?
No, but you have a history with that?
That's a different episode. We'll talk later.
All right, man. So,
just making sure you're safe out there.
Yeah, we're definitely.
If you find any cool, valuable stuff, though, like, that makes it like kind of like a perk. Like honestly, I would go out there. I'd be like, this is a goose hunt
You'll be that old geezer with the little
metal detector. Everybody else is out here picking up shit. I'm just walking around with a metal detector. Look at these idiots over here picking up trash. Where'd it go at?
True.
But yeah, no, I feel like that's a good place to kind of stop the episode or to not stop it, but to end it.
Yeah.
Wow, that break came quick.
Yeah, that break did come quick. It's just Nick has been super adamant about the time of. I'm gonna shit on him for every time I say this, but
I'm looking out for the listener.
Super adamant about the podcasts going a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Attention span and stuff like that. So.
Really, I'm just out of beer.
Yeah, really, just Nick is out of beer. But yeah, no. Before we close this thing up, I want you maybe to, if you do are comfortable with saying where the people can find you, on what platform, or maybe even plugging what you got going on, maybe your art or anything in general.
Yeah. So I have a few different handles that you guys can follow if you want to. So my personal one is Liliana Joy, and it's spelt LILIANAJOY. So that's my personal. Spell Lily really weird. And then my art account is Artsy Alter Ego, and it's spelt just how it sounds.
I love that.
And NC Litter Pickup Community is the litter trash cleanup. So yeah.
Sick, amazing, and thank you so much again for
thank
coming
you
by,
for having me,
for sharing with not only us but like
this was fun. I learned what calligraphy was.
Exactly. Nick learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things,
and
I'm sure the viewers and listeners learned a couple things. And something that isn't said enough, I feel like it takes a lot of how do you say it?
Gumption?
No, it's
balls.
Bravery. Balls, yes.
Thank you.
That's gumption.
To come to the all the cameras and stuff like that, but not only to talk to us, but to also share it with the folks listening and viewing and stuff like that, about what you got going, about what you're passionate about and stuff like that. So we really appreciate it.
With that too, I want to say thanks to the community for being so
yes.
open and welcoming and safe.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you to everybody, to you guys too.
Big thanks, guys.
Yeah. And again, this has been the 4099 podcast with, again, your hosts Dima and
Nick.
And thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you if you've made it this far. Thank you so much for sticking with it, for writing the whole episode out. Really appreciate it. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with the comment thing,
leave them dog shit comments in the basement, please.
Yes, please do that. Please start a discussion. That really helps us out. And
give me some fucking feedback, some beer recommendations, and
yes.
I want to know who you want me to talk to next.
Yes.
I have a really cool series coming out soon, talking to other people from other countries about our country and their country.
I love that.
While we drink beers.
Yes.
Or whatever they want to drink, because you don't have to drink.
Vodka.
I was actually like debating on whether to
bring the vodka out. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. High five.
Thank you so much. Peace.
Bye.